Well, we recently caught up with Dr. Paula, CEO of Wildlife Direct and one of Africa's best-known conservationists when it comes to one of Africa's most loved animals, the elephant.
Now, they have started a campaign which is called #Don'tLetThemDisappear, and it's all about addressing the scourge of elephant poaching.
The African elephant is the largest land mammal on the planet and a beautiful symbol of our continent's proud heritage. To ensure future generations can see these creatures continue to thrive, passionate individuals like Dr. Paula Kahumbu work tirelessly to conserve elephants in the wild.
Wildlife Direct is a Kenyan-based conservation organization, and we champion wildlife causes here in Africa. For example, trying to stop the poaching of elephants or rhinos, for that matter. We really feel that the protection of these magnificent African species is the role and responsibility of every African. So we work to change hearts and minds, to win over the general public. You know, every ordinary African should be visiting our parks and really spending time with these animals. And we also campaign to change our laws. Most of our African laws are inadequate to protect these species in the wild, especially against traffickers and these criminal cartels who are selling ivory, rhino horn and other products.
Awareness and education are a critical component of Wildlife Direct's work to create public engagement in conservation.
Wildlife Direct has done several campaigns. I'll talk mainly about the elephant campaign because that's really what is the main issue on our mind right now. Elephants are being slaughtered at a rate of 1 every 15 minutes. And at that rate, African elephants are declining at a rate of 8% per year, and we could lose them within our lifetime. So our campaign really is to stop the slaughter. The campaign hashtag is "Don't Let Them Disappear." So we really are seeking to stop the ivory trade, stop the sale of ivory from Africa and the killing of elephants here on the continent. And we work with many organizations. We also work with Amarula here in South Africa to raise the profile of this campaign to a global level. The first ever rhino horn auction took place here in South Africa, and it didn't result in as much interest from buyers as some people thought it would. I think it reflects on two things. First, there's been a lot of campaigning globally to educate people who use rhino horn that it doesn't actually have medicinal value. So the second reason why I think the rhino horn auction didn't take off as well as some people thought is because this horn is only being sold into the South African market. And Africans don't use rhino horn. We don't have any traditions of medicinal properties or carvings out of rhino horn. So poaching of elephants across the African continent has risen very rapidly just in the last 4 or 5 years. And it has a lot to do with the one-off sales of ivory that took place. The first sale took place in 2002 to Japan. That didn't have a huge impact, but the second sale in 2009 triggered a massive escalation in poaching. And I think that there are many reasons why, but primarily it's because it triggered demand for ivory in China. Ivory is a very unique product that only elephants produce, and before them the mammoths and the mastodons. It is actually their teeth, and it's not the canines, which is what it looks like. It's actually their incisors, their 2 front teeth, which are modified. And they're produced in a way that creates a spiral laying down of dentine. And that's what gives it the beautiful appearance. If you cut it cross-sectionally, you'll see these lines which look like a cross-hatched line. They call them the Schrager lines. So this makes ivory strong in all dimensions, unlike any other bone.
In Kenya, campaigns strongly supported by the government have helped elephant poaching decline by 80% and preserved countless elephants who play a vital role in ecosystems.
These animals are engineers of ecosystems. They eat so much food, they bulldoze down bushes, and they create opportunities for other plants and animals to live. And many species will not germinate unless their seeds have gone through a gut of an elephant. So you can see immediately we lose elephants, we also lose many other species, and other species that depend on those species. So there is a kind of a knock-on effect, and that's why we call them keystone species. There are so many things that people can do to help save elephants. I think that you don't have to be a biologist like me. You don't have to go and do a PhD and spend 7 years out in the forest with elephants. You could be an artist. You could actually create awareness through music, through drawings, through theatre. So there are loads of ways that individuals can participate in helping to save elephants just purely by contributing to raising that awareness. Of course, you have to learn about it, and there are lots of websites with information about elephants and why we should do this. If an elephant can't inspire people to save the species, then it'll be really hard to save the mice and the birds and all the other species which we may not be able to relate to as easily.
We don't want a world where elephants no longer exist, so let's do our part to protect these majestic symbols of Africa.